Hey there, young listeners. Welcome to It's Story Time, Kids. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Get comfortable, maybe grab a cozy blanket or your favorite stuffed animal because we've got an amazing story to share with you. Today's tale is called Ria's Big Dussehra Decision. It's about courage, friendship, and what it really means to grow up. And guess what? After you listen, you can read the beautifully illustrated version of this story on our website at onceuponastorytime.in. That's onceuponastorytime.in. So are you ready? Let's dive in. The autumn air in Mysore smelled wonderful, like jasmine flowers and fresh marigolds hanging in garlands from every shop. Colorful rangoli patterns decorated every doorstep, painted carefully with rice flour in swirling designs of peacocks and flowers. Bright paper lanterns swayed gently from balconies, catching the golden afternoon light. The Dussehra was coming, and for 10-year-old Ria, it was the most magical festival of the entire year.
Attention, children!
Lakshmi Auntie's voice rang out through the community hall as she clapped her hands together. 20 excited children sat cross-legged on the cool floor, practically vibrating with anticipation. You could feel the energy in the room, that special buzz of excitement when something important is about to happen.
It's time
Lakshmi Auntie announced with a warm smile.
to announce the roles for our Dussehra tableau.
Ria squeezed her best friend Amit's hand so tight he almost yelped. Every single year, the neighborhood children performed scenes from the ancient Ramayana story on the Dussehra evening. All the families would come to watch, sitting on blankets under the stars. And afterwards, there would be mountains of sweets and sparklers that wrote wishes in the dark sky.
The role of Lord Rama
Lakshmi Auntie paused dramatically.
goes to Raghav.
Raghav pumped his fist in the air. The 12-year-old boy had been hoping and hoping for this role all year long. His grin stretched from ear to ear.
And the role of Sita
Another pause.
goes to Ria.
Ria's heart soared like a kite, catching a strong wind and shooting up into the clouds. Sita. She would play Sita, the brave princess who faced every challenge with courage and grace, who never gave up hope, even in the darkest times.
I'll be Lakshmana, Rama's brother.
Amit whispered excitedly, bouncing a little. We'll practice every single day. As children chattered and celebrated around her, Priya suddenly noticed something strange. Priya wasn't at the announcement. Priya, who had played important roles for the past 3 years. Priya, who usually sat in the front row taking notes. That was odd, but maybe she was just busy today. Over the next few days, the children rehearsed in the community garden. The space was perfect for practice. Tall neem trees provided shade, and the soft grass made a natural stage. Ria learned her lines, practiced her graceful movements with her hands flowing like water, and imagined herself as the wise princess who never gave up hope. The golden afternoon sun painted everything warm and bright. Birds sang in the branches above. The smell of someone's grandmother baking cardamom cookies drifted from a nearby kitchen. Everything felt perfect. Then, on the third day of rehearsal, everything changed. Priya appeared at the garden gate, but she wasn't wearing her usual rehearsal clothes. Simple cotton that was easy to move in. She wore trendy jeans and a sparkly top that caught the sunlight. And she wasn't alone. 2 girls from her class stood behind her, whispering and giggling.
Everyone, listen up.
Priya called out, leaning casually against the gate like she had the most important news in the world. The children stopped mid-scene. Raghav lowered his pretend bow. The boy playing Hanuman paused mid-leap. Everyone turned to look.
I'm not doing the tableau this year.
Priya announced, flipping her hair.
I'm doing something way, way better. I'm throwing a Dussehra party at my house. There'll be chocolate cake, the kind with 3 layers, pizza with extra cheese, video games on the big screen, and a treasure hunt with real prizes. Like actual gifts you get to keep.
The children gathered around, chattering excitedly.
A treasure hunt?
Chocolate cake? Video games?
But
Priya continued, holding up one perfectly manicured finger for emphasis.
it's the same evening as the tableau, so you have to choose. Boring old performance for aunties and uncles who'll probably fall asleep, or the coolest party of the year.
Her eyes locked onto Ria.
Priya, you should definitely come. You're too smart to waste your time on baby stuff like this.
Ria's stomach did a nervous flip-flop. Was Priya really inviting her? Priya, who was popular and confident and always had the latest toys? Priya, who thought she was too mature for what she called childish things like community plays.
Wait just a minute.
Amit frowned, his voice uncertain.
But we're all practicing for the tableau. Lakshmi Auntie is counting on us.
Priya shrugged carelessly, like she was brushing away a fly.
It's just a children's play. My party will be way more fun. I mean, come on, we're not little kids anymore.
She looked directly at Ria again.
Right, Ria?
All eyes turned to Ria. 20 pairs of eyes, all waiting. Her face felt hot like someone had turned on a heater inside her cheeks. Her mouth went dry.
I don't know.
She managed to say.
I need to think about it.
Raghav crossed his arms, his Rama crown sitting crooked on his head.
Well, I'm doing the tableau. I gave my word.
Suit yourself.
Priya said breezily, already turning away.
But everyone, who's anyone, will be at my party. Your choice, be cool or be boring.
She walked away with her friends, their laughter floating back over their shoulders like dandelion seeds on the wind. That evening, Ria sat alone on her balcony, swinging her legs and watching the sunset paint the sky. Below, she could see the community decorators putting up strings of lights for Dussehra, wrapping them around trees and poles. In the distance, workers were building the giant Ravan effigy. It grew taller every day, reaching toward the sky with bamboo arms.
What's troubling my little princess?
Appa's gentle voice made Ria look up. He came and sat beside her on the cool stone, his evening newspaper folded under his arm. The smell of his sandalwood soap was comforting and familiar.
Appa,
Ria said slowly, trying to figure out how to explain the tangled feeling in her chest.
what would you do if you had to choose between something really fun and something you promised to do?
Appa was quiet for a moment, thinking. The sunset reflected in his glasses.
Tell me more about it.
So Ria explained everything. Priya's party with its chocolate fountains and treasure hunts. The tableau with its rehearsals and responsibilities. Feeling torn in two directions. Pulled like taffy.
Priya says the tableau is baby stuff.
Ria finished quietly.
Maybe she's right. Maybe I'm too old for it now.
Appa said thoughtfully.
You know, that reminds me of something important. Would you like to see something special tomorrow morning?
The next day, Appa took Ria to the open ground where artisans were building the giant Ravan effigy. And oh, it was impressive. The demon king already stood 15 feet tall, his bamboo arms reaching toward the sky like he was trying to grab the clouds. Workers climbed on scaffolding, carefully attaching his fierce 10 heads. Each head was more terrifying than the last, with wild eyes and sneering mouths painted in reds and blacks.
Every year, we burn Ravan on Dussehra.
Appa said, watching the workers.
Do you know why?
Because Rama defeated him in the great battle?
Ria answered, remembering the story.
Yes. But do you know what made Rama and Sita true heroes? It wasn't just that they won.
Appa sat on a nearby bench under a banyan tree and patted the spot beside him. Ria sat down, her feet not quite touching the ground.
Rama was a prince.
Appa continued.
He lived in a beautiful palace with marble floors and silk curtains. He could have had comfort, parties, and fun every single day. But he gave it all up, everything, to keep his father's promise. He went to live in the forest for 14 years. 14 years of sleeping on the ground, eating berries, fighting demons.
Priya watched as the workers added Ravan's crown, decorated with gold paper that glittered in the morning sun and red cloth that fluttered like flames.
And Sita
Appa said softly.
could have stayed safely in the palace. Everyone told her the forest was dangerous and difficult. They begged her to stay. But she chose to go with Rama because she had made a commitment. Even when the terrible demon Ravan captured her and imprisoned her, she never gave up her values or her dignity. That wasn't easy or comfortable or fun, but it was right.
So, being a hero
Priya said slowly.
isn't about doing easy things.
Exactly.
Appa smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners.
All through their journey, Rama and Sita faced temptations. Shortcuts they could have taken, promises they could have broken, easier paths that would have been so much more comfortable. But they always chose what was right over what was easy. That's why we celebrate Dussehra. It's not just about defeating a demon with 10 heads. It's about defeating the little demons inside us. The ones that whisper, "Take the easy way," or "Break your promise if something better comes along," or "Nobody will know if you quit."
Priya chewed her lip, thinking hard. The wooden demon loomed above them. And suddenly it didn't seem so scary anymore. It was just paper and bamboo and paint. The real demons, those were harder to see. Over the next 2 days, the pressure grew heavier and heavier, like Riya was carrying a backpack filled with rocks that got bigger every hour. During rehearsal, 3 more children dropped out to attend Priya's party. First, Neha said she was going, then the twins, Rohan and Sohan. They shuffled their feet and wouldn't meet anyone's eyes as they mumbled their excuses. Lakshmi Auntie's usually bright smile became worried, like a candle flickering in the wind.
If more children leave,
She said quietly to the remaining kids, her voice sad.
we might have to cancel the whole tableau.
Cancel it? After 20 years? Priya's heart sank. Then, Priya showed up at the park where Riya was playing on the swings, pumping her legs to go higher and higher, trying to clear her confused thoughts.
Ria,
Priya called out, waving her phone.
my mom ordered a special chocolate fountain. The kind where you dip strawberries and marshmallows in melted chocolate. And there'll be a professional magic show with a real magician. You're still coming, right? Don't be silly and waste your time on that boring performance. Nobody cool is doing it anymore.
She thrust her phone in Riya's face, showing picture after picture. Fancy decorations with balloons shaped like stars. A cake so huge it needed its own table, covered in swirls of frosting and edible glitter.
See? This is what mature people do for festivals. Not dress up in old costumes and recite old stories that nobody cares about.
Amit stayed quiet nearby, pretending to tie his shoelace. But Riya could see the disappointment in his eyes, clear as glass. He was practicing his lines extra hard now, even at home. She'd seen him in his yard yesterday, sword fighting with an invisible enemy, saying his dialogue over and over. Raghav had asked Riya twice if she was definitely, absolutely, positively staying in the tableau. He needed to know if they should find a new Sita and start over. That night, Riya couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling where the moon made silver patterns through the curtains. Her Sita costume hung on the closet door, looking back at her in the darkness. It was beautiful, a green and gold sari that Amma had sewn with such care, featuring tiny mirrors that caught the light like stars. Amma had stayed up late 3 nights to finish it, pricking her fingers with the needle until they were dotted with tiny pinpricks. Riya thought about Lakshmi auntie, who had been organizing this tableau for 20 years. 20 years of making sure traditions continued, making sure children learned the old stories. She thought about little Meena, only 6 years old, playing Hanuman the monkey god. Meena had told Riya yesterday, her small voice serious.
I want to be brave like Sita when I grow up.
But she also thought about Priya's chocolate fountain, about being part of the cool group, the popular kids who sat together at lunch, about not being called a baby or boring, about having fun instead of working hard and worrying about getting her lines right.
What do I do?
She whispered to the darkness. But the darkness didn't answer. The next morning was Dussehra Eve, decision day. The final rehearsal was at 4 o'clock. Priya's party invitation said to arrive at 6. Riya walked slowly to the community garden, her feet feeling like they were made of stone. Heavy, so heavy. Each step took effort. When she arrived, she saw the stage had been decorated overnight. Paper flowers in red and orange climbed up the sides, painted clouds with silver edges floated on cardboard. Someone had strung marigold garlands along the front. The smaller children were already there, practicing their parts with such enthusiasm it made Riya's throat tight. Amit was kneeling down, helping a nervous 5-year-old boy remember his lines.
No, you come in from this side,
Amit said patiently.
and then you say your line nice and loud so everyone can hear.
Raghav was adjusting his crown, looking worried as he counted on his fingers, counting the children who hadn't shown up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too many empty spots. Lakshmi auntie looked tired. There were shadows under her eyes like she hadn't slept well. But when she saw Riya, hope lit up her face like a diya lamp.
Riya! Thank goodness you're here. We've been waiting for our Sita.
Riya looked around at the half-empty garden. Half the cast was gone. But the ones who remained, were trying twice as hard to make up for it. Little Meena, playing a tree in the forest scene, had made paper leaves at home and glued them carefully to her costume. Each one was painted a different shade of green. Amit had taken his toy sword and painted it silver to make it look more realistic, more like a real warrior's weapon. These were her friends. Her real friends. People who showed up even when things got hard. People who kept trying when others gave up. People who didn't think that helping their community was baby stuff. And suddenly, like the sun breaking through clouds, Riya understood what Appa had been trying to tell her. Keeping promises wasn't childish. It was what grown-ups did. Real grown-ups. Real maturity wasn't about chocolate fountains and being too cool for traditions. It was about being dependable. Being someone people could count on. Being someone you could be proud of.
Lakshmi auntie,
Riya said, standing up straight and tall.
I'm staying in the tableau. I made a promise and I'm keeping it.
Raghav's worried face broke into the biggest smile, like someone had switched on every light in his face at once.
Really? That's fantastic. I knew you wouldn't let us down.
Amit grinned so wide his ears moved.
Now we can really make this work. Come on, let's practice.
Really?
Riya said firmly, feeling that solid, warm feeling growing in her chest.
Let's make this the best performance anyone has ever seen.
They rehearsed until the sun began to set. perfecting every scene, every gesture, every single line. The way Sita would hold her hands, the way Ram would stand proud and noble, the expression on Lakshmana's loyal face. Raghav and Riya practiced the scene where Ram finds Sita again after years of searching. And even though it was just a rehearsal, even though they were just kids in a garden, Riya felt the real emotion of that moment, the joy of reunion, the strength of loyalty, the power of keeping your word. At 5:30, just as the sky was turning that special purple color, Priya appeared at the garden gate. She wore a sparkly purple party dress that probably cost more than all their costumes put together. Her hair was done up in elaborate curls with ribbons woven through.
Ria,
She called out, tapping her foot impatiently.
come on! The party's starting soon. Last chance to be cool.
Riya took a deep breath. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a drum, but her voice came out steady and clear.
I'm performing in the tableau, Priya. I gave my word.
Priya's eyes widened like someone had just told her the sky was green.
You're choosing that baby play over my party? Seriously? Are you actually serious right now?
She stared at Riya like she'd grown a second head.
Fine. Be boring then. You'll miss the best party of the entire year.
She flounced away, her dress swishing dramatically.
You'll be so sorry.
Riya's stomach hurt. It really did. Like she'd swallowed a stone. But she also felt something else. Something solid and warm. Like the sun on her face on a winter morning. She felt proud. Raghav walked over and gave her a high five that echoed in the evening air.
That took real guts. Thanks for sticking with us, Riya. It means everything.
As twilight painted the sky in layers of purple and deep blue, families began arriving with blankets and floor cushions. Grandparents came with walking sticks. Parents carried sleeping babies. Children ran ahead with excitement. The community ground filled with people. More and more and more until it seemed like the whole neighborhood was there. Oil lamps flickered around the stage, creating a warm golden glow. Someone had sprinkled rose water to make the air smell sweet. The giant Ravan effigy stood ready in the distance, waiting for its moment, its 10 heads staring out into the darkness. The tabla drums began. Dum 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 tata, dum 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 tata. The ancient rhythm that had announced stories for thousands of years. The performance started. Riya stepped onto the stage in her green and gold costume. And suddenly, she wasn't Riya anymore. She was Sita. Brave, noble Sita. She spoke her lines clearly, her voice carrying to the back of the crowd. She moved with grace, her hands telling stories in their gestures. She showed everyone what true courage looked like. Raghav was magnificent as Ram, noble and strong, a prince who kept his promises no matter the cost. Amit was a loyal Lakshmana, standing beside his brother through every trial, even with their smaller caste, even with the empty spaces where other children should have been. The remaining kids performed with such heart, such pure emotion, that the audience sat in complete silence, captivated, caught up in the ancient story as if they were hearing it for the first time. When Ram and Sita were reunited in the final scene, when they stood together after years of separation, many people in the audience wiped their eyes. Even the tough uncles who pretended they never cried. Even the teenagers who thought they were too cool for tears. When the performance ended, the crowd erupted in applause that seemed to shake the very stars in the sky. People stood up, clapping and cheering.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. The best one yet.
Little Meena hugged Riya so tight, she almost couldn't breathe.
You were the best Sita ever. You made me cry real tears.
After the performance, as the adults prepared to light the giant Ravan effigy, excitement buzzed through the crowd. Someone counted down.
3, 2, 1.
Fire touched the base of the effigy. Flames climbed toward the sky. orange and red and gold, crackling and roaring. The 10 heads of Ravan disappeared in smoke and fire, and people cheered as good triumphed over evil. Once more, just as it had for thousands of years. Someone started playing music. Families spread out picnic blankets, sharing homemade sweets. Laddus rolled in coconut. Crispy samosas still warm from the oil. Children played with sparklers, writing their names in light against the darkness, the sparks trailing like tiny comets. Lakshmi auntie found Riya in the crowd and hugged her so tight, Riya's feet left the ground.
Thank you for staying, my dear. You showed everyone what it means to keep a promise. That's not baby stuff. That's what real maturity looks like. That's what makes someone truly grown up.
Appa appeared with a plate piled high with sweets, his eyes shining with pride.
I'm so proud of you, my brave Sita.
Riya looked around at the smiling faces glowing in the firelight, at the warm glow of the flames, at her friends laughing and celebrating together. This feeling of belonging, of having done something meaningful, of being someone she could be proud of. This was better than any fancy party could ever be. Better than 1,000 chocolate fountains. The next afternoon, Riya was playing hopscotch outside, hopping on one foot and trying not to step on the chalk lines, when she saw Priya sitting alone on a bench. She was looking at her phone with a deep frown on her face.
How was your party?
Riya asked carefully, walking over slowly. Priya shrugged, not meeting her eyes. She picked at a thread on her jeans.
It was okay, I guess. Some kids left early because they said it was boring after a while. The treasure hunt was over too fast. The magic tricks were kind of lame. I think the magician usually does birthday parties for 5-year-olds.
She paused, then added quietly, so quietly Riya almost didn't hear.
Half the people I invited didn't even show up. They went to the tableau instead.
Another pause. Then,
My cousin showed me videos of your performance on her phone. You were really excellent, Ria. Everyone's talking about it today. It's all over the neighborhood chat groups.
Riya sat down beside her on the bench. Their feet tangled together.
Thanks. You know, Lakshmi auntie is already planning next year's performance. You should join us from the very beginning this time. It's a lot of work, I won't lie, but it's worth it. And it's definitely not baby stuff.
Priya looked surprised, her eyebrows shooting up.
Even after I tried to make everyone skip it, even after I called it boring and said all those mean things about traditions,
Everyone makes mistakes.
Riya said, remembering what Appa had taught her at the Ravan effigy.
What matters is what we choose to do next time. Real friends don't give up on each other. Real friends give second chances.
A small, genuine smile appeared on Priya's face. Not her usual confident grin, but something softer and more real.
maybe I was wrong. Maybe running away from traditions because I think I'm too cool. Maybe that isn't very mature at all. Maybe that's the actual baby stuff.
Maybe
Riya agreed gently, bumping Priya's shoulder with her own.
I think I will join next year.
Priya said, looking at Riya properly for the first time.
If if everyone will give me another chance.
of course we will.
Riya smiled warmly.
Everyone's welcome, that's what community means.
That evening, as Riya helped Amma water the tulsi plant on their balcony, she looked up at the stars beginning to appear one by one in the darkening sky. They looked like the tiny mirrors on her Sita costume, catching light from somewhere far away.
Appa?
She called through the open door into the house.
Yes, my princess.
He called back.
I think I understand now. Dussehra isn't just about burning a big statue of a bad guy.
Appa came to the balcony, wiping his reading glasses with his shirt. Oh? What is it about then?
It's about choosing what's right even when it's hard. Really hard. It's about keeping promises even when something more fun comes along. It's about being the kind of person you can be proud of when you look in the mirror.
Riya smiled up at him.
It's about defeating the demons inside us. The demon that tells us to break our word. The demon that says traditions are childish. The demon that whispers that being popular is more important than being dependable.
Appa pulled her close into a warm hug that smelled like sandalwood and coffee and home.
Now you truly understand, my brave one. And that's the real victory we celebrate every year. The victory over our own doubts and temptations. Real maturity isn't about being too cool for traditions. It's about honoring them and understanding why they matter. It's about being someone people can count on.
As the evening drifted into night, stars appearing like tiny lights being switched on across a vast ceiling, Ria felt something settle inside her. A quiet confidence, a sense of who she was and who she wanted to be. She had made the right choice, and that was the best feeling in the world. And that's the end of Ria's story. But you know what? It's not really the end at all. Every day, we all face our own Dussehra decisions. Those moments when we have to choose between what's easy and what's right. Between breaking our promises or keeping them. Between following the crowd or standing up for what we believe in. What choice will you make the next time you face a difficult decision? Remember, real courage isn't about never being scared or never being tempted. It's about doing the right thing even when it's hard. Just like Riya did. Just like Ram and Sita did all those years ago. This story has been brought to you by Once Upon a Story Time. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget you can read the beautiful illustrated version on our website at onceuponastorytime.in. That's onceuponastorytime.in, where stories come alive. We also have a YouTube channel where select stories are shared in visual format. Just search for It's Storytime Kids by Once Upon a Storytime on YouTube. And if you love collecting stories, you can find our books on Amazon. Search for our store, Once Upon a Storytime Creations. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for listening, young friends. Until next time, keep making brave choices, keep being kind, and keep believing in the power of keeping your promises. Happy listening, and remember, every day is a chance to be your own hero.